What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the life and suffering of Sir Brante, episode number 6 with me, GamerKnoob. We're going out of our adolescence and into our youth. 16 years old, off on our own. Not really our own, we're with our friend. Heading off, supposed to enroll in maybe the college or something.
Leaving my hometown behind, I set out for the capital of the Empire. There, I would discover my role in society.
We'll see what we actually do, though. Also, I love the voice acting. Imagine if the whole book was voice acted. It would be extremely expensive for the game, but it would be pretty cool for us. And then you wouldn't have to listen to me read it all, would you? Leaving home, the driver flicks the reins. The carriage slowly sways as it starts moving away from your home. You stick your head out the window and wave goodbye to your family. Nathan's running after the carriage with Thomas's younger brother in tow, tears glistening in their eyes. It hurts to leave your home behind. Ahead lies Eterna, the imperial capital. You have often read about it and heard stories from Father and Stefan. It is a city that surpasses Anazat enormously in terms of size, age, wealth, and beauty. But what is it really like? What actions of life? What kind of life awaits you there? What will you learn there, and where will your actions take you? You pass the old walls of Anazat. Somewhere within them is the old fortress you and Thomas built together out of old wooden planks now left to the care of your younger brothers. You two are adults now. Perhaps your fortress will crumble, now abandoned, or perhaps your brothers will continue what you started. Who knows? You look down at your hands, knuckles covered in scars from street antics, fingers stained with ink. Mother gave you a cross to wear away from home, and now you feel its warmth against your chest. Your family counts on you, even though they all wish a different future for you, but they are behind you now in Anazat. From this point on, only you will decide which road you will take. This is the journey you prepared for throughout your entire childhood. Ahead of you lie many years in the capital, years that will determine your fate and your place in society. These are your personal qualities in adulthood, which you will use for the rest of your life. They are some of qualities that you have gained in childhood and adolescence. So we have perception and nobility combined into diplomacy. It's your proficiency in laws and the empires with your connection and influence. Awesome. Alright. Perception and ingenuity combined into manipulation. Okay, so oh look. Most important to the judge, most important to the conspirator. Perception and spirituality, or theology, we're a neophyte. Most important to the inquisitor. Determination and ability. Most important to be a judge. To be valor. Determination and ingenuity for scheming. Most important to be a conspirator. We're a dangerous one. Oh. Determination and spirituality. Eloquence. Most important to be an inquisitor. Let's continue. Seems like we're pretty cunning at the moment. You left your hometown to study in the imperial capital. What life awaits you in Eterna? What will you study and where will you go? When push comes to shove, which road will you take? Your youth awaits, and the years to come will determine the nature of your destiny and your place in the society. Life path we can choose from. We get the path of Lotless. We can choose the path of the priest, the path of the nobleman, or apparently we can suffer our true death here. Oh my. Alright, let's continue. Events that happen in the personal life. Alice's rescue, collapse of the Lotless at large, bond of friendship, shield of the new faith, shield of the old faith, victory in the tournament. Diplomacy. There's 8. There's our manipulation, diplomacy, valor, eloquence, and scheming. We're not bad. We can be a judge. We're not bad, but we're pretty good at the conspirator. I'm not gonna lie. At least at the moment we are. Let's see what the capital awaits for us. Year 1134. Arrival in the capital. It takes a whole month to reach Eterna. You and Thomas spend the days wagging your chins and staring at the scenery as your carriage makes its way along the road and towards the next province. Soon it crosses from the familiar barren arid lands of Magra to the stately mountains of Illyria. During one of your many stays at the roadside inn, the two of you even manage to share a whole bottle of strong wine and keep it a secret from the servant who drives the carriage. Adult life feels positively intoxicating. Soon, I tell you, soon we'll be there, and I'll earn my sword as soon as I get accepted into the military academy. You'll see, and then nobody's gonna walk all over me like I'm some commoner. You keep rehearsing everything they taught you in school. Soon you are almost at the end of your long journey. You have left behind the arid rocks of Magra, the mountains of Illyria, and the flooded meadows of Arknia. Eterna, the capital, is right ahead. Situated between the Glada and Talrina rivers, the city is vast. 3 majestic stone bridges keep its shores interconnected. Smooth stone paves the main city streets. Gilded molding decorates the buildings. Towering pillars reach high into the sky. Your carriage takes you past a spacious park with marble fountains and intricately trimmed bushes. On the streets you see ornately decorated carriages carrying Arknian coats of arms and abundant merchants' tents filling the streets. With beckoning cries and unusual sights, the spires of ancient temples dot the city skyline. The carriage comes to a halt on a large city square with a towering marble fountain. The coachman says you have arrived. Thomas is to apply at the military academy. The academy barracks are 2 streets away. Your lodging house is in the alleyway nearby. A room has already been reserved for you. You get out into the street and say brief goodbyes to each other. You promise to meet again after the entrance exams. Then your friend disappears into the crowded streets of the capital. You are left to your own devices in this vast city. A group of nobles walk past. They are dressed in well-fitting clothes decorated with gems and golden thread. You are not even noticed. Street urchins chase a dog down the alleyway. Soldiers of the Imperial Legion are marching to fifes and drums towards the barracks. Humble pilgrims are gathering to the great temple of the twins. There are sounds of music and fountains and the smells of baked bread and garbage drains. You quickly check in the lodging house, then go back outside. The sun is setting. The street lights come to life. Merry music fills the taverns. Couples and noble coaches with tinted windows fill the streets. Shadows and hushed voices and laughter fill the parks. You are all alone with this city, so vast and unfamiliar. You take a look around, determined to fill your first night in the capital with memories. You see young nobles gathered by the fountain, talking and making jokes excitedly. One of them keeps glancing at the clock tower. They are about your age. Their clothes are hand-tailored, and 2 of them bear noble swords. They seem to be waiting for something. It might be a good idea to make their acquaintance. It would be most helpful to develop a familiarity and influential nobles of the capital. Loud music from a large establishment on the corner distracts you for a moment. The servants have just opened the shutters to air out the hall. It seems there will be a gathering inside. People from various estates greet each other as they take their seats. A servant by the door of the establishment hails you. Sir Great Arknian will be making a speech about the rights of the common estate. If you wish to listen, you'd better get inside quickly. Then you look at the great temple of the twins at the far end of the street. The pillar shines in the evening dusk above it. The temple gates are open. The worshippers are flocking inside. There are too many people for an ordinary service. This must be something important. What do they preach here in the capital? What do they say of the new faith and the teachings of the patriarch Focus? You snap out of your reverie when you hear loud laughter. A group of young men dressed in the colors of the Imperial College have made the acquaintance of several lovely girls. They are making their way down the road, united by a merriment. One of the girls smiles at you. It is an invitation to join them. They turn the corner and walk away, but you can still hear their voices ringing and echoing through the street. A night of revelry and jolly loud fun doesn't sound half bad. This is your first night in Eterna. No matter what you choose, you will remember it for a long time to come. Let's go after the students. I'm definitely not going to do the nobles. No, definitely not. This one kind of intrigued me. I didn't want to do this one. I'm going to run after the students, though. Arrival in the capital. The students' merriment is infectious. You join their group. They are almost your age, maybe 1 or 2 years older. You see so many faces, and soon you're in a tavern somewhere in the city, getting to know so many people at a massive table. So many people you do not even bother to remember their names for now. And the wine flows. It flows like water. A lively tune is playing in the tavern. A girl just a little bit older than you pulls you off your seat to dance. Her dress is unbuttoned a bit more than it's supposed to be. She smells of wine and honey. You copy her motions in the dance as your hands clasp her waist. It slides lower of its own accord. She pulls away suddenly and stares into your eyes, and then kisses you on the lips. You're startled at first, but soon you respond to the kiss, as you pull her soft, supple body even closer to you. You spend all night dancing, only returning to the table to catch your breath and quench your thirst. The girl keeps embracing you, laughing, and pouring even more wine into your glasses. You feel at ease. You feel carefree. You feel happy. You do not remember returning to the lodging house. Your head and legs are aching in the morning. You can barely remember the names of last night's companions. After some consideration, you choose to remain in bed for the rest of the new day. But we got some willpower. That's always good. Arrival arrival in the capital. You arrived in Eterna, the ancient capital of the blessed Arknian Empire. It's like 1 year's gone by. No. Oops, sorry. You spent the last 3 days studying books, but today you decide to take a walk through the streets of Eterna. They are full of life as usual. You proceed to the square next to the lodging house. A procession of priests walk through the square. You notice that one of them holds a banner of the new faith, an open book. This is the same banner that was behind Patriarch Photis on the day of his assassination. A crowd immediately gathers around them. Many people are looking at the icon painting on a small pedestal depicting a gray-haired man with glowing green eyes. You recognize that face, the face of the late Patriarch Photis. A man with a thick beard appears by the icon painting. His broad shoulders bear a white and gold cloak with the coat of arms of his capital province embroidered on it. He is Luke, Patriarch of Arknia. He casts his stern gaze over the crowd. I speak to all who live within the sight of the shining pillar. Exactly 1 year ago we lost Photis, Patriarch of the Maghreb province, mentor of the new faith. Patriarch Photis was the first to see the book of Asadius for nothing but the words of a man, not the words of the twins themselves. He was the first to tell people to seek the path to the gods in their own hearts, instead of blindly following the lots to seek answer in the lives of the twins in their own hearts, rather than the words of priests. Through Patriarch Photis, we were able to see the truth. Through his death, we saw that his words are not heresy. They are the truth that are used to be obscured by Asadius' lies. And now I bring good news. Patriarch Junius Diamant has seen to it that our teacher will be canonized as a saint. Yes, Junius Diamant, an Arknian from a great dynasty and the Patriarch of Estynia, has joined the new faith himself. And through this we hope that the entire empire will soon see that our doctrine is the truth. We are free from the shackles of the lots. We are equal before the twins. With each day, more and more people hearken to the truth, and one day the entire empire will hear our call. So let us pray, my brothers. The believers around you bow their heads in prayer and thanks to the twins, not for the lot they were given, as they usually would, but for the chance to choose their own path. The Patriarch's sermon is inspiring. It compels your hands to meet in a sign of prayer. It compels your lips to repeat the words of the new faith. Patriarch Luke's sermon forms a cadence, and your heart beats in time with it now. The picture is moving. You recall the murder of Patriarch Photis a year ago. It seems more patriarchs share his doctrine now. The news of Junius Diamant joining the new faith is stunning. If an Arknian from a great dynasty has sided with Photis' doctrine and agreed to see everyone as equals in the twins, the new faith must truly be putting down roots. But suddenly, several figures appear by the podium, figures clad in black with glinting silver on their sides. Inquisitors. They push through the crowd and form a circle around Patriarch Luke. One of the priests rises before the crowd. He's clean-shaven, tall, and chiseled features. Everyone falls silent at the sight of him. The Inquisitor speaks with a booming voice that can be heard by all. I am Father Ulrich. In the name of the twins and by the right as an Inquisitor, I order you to turn around and leave. The words you're hearing are full of lies. The Patriarch Luke has set out to poison your hearts and minds, and the Inquisition will not allow this heresy to spread. The only true path in life is the will of the twins. Life offers us no other choice. You are hereby ordered to disperse at once. Most people leave the square immediately. Few want to get involved with the Inquisition. Some people stay, however, and some even shout angrily, "We want to listen to Luke. He is the Patriarch of Arknia, and he has more to say. Get away from our sermon, old believers. We will not listen to you and your hoary lies about the lots." Inquisitors, bring those who may yet listen back to their lots and leave the others to the champions of faith. The black-clad Inquisitors descend from the podium and approach the people who chose to stay. With nothing but their words, they make people stop shouting and start listening. The uproar ceases quickly. They have dissected the crowd, split it into smaller groups that surround each Inquisitor. One of these Inquisitors chooses to approach you. He is a humble-looking man of age, with a rough haircut. He looks you straight in the eye, as his lively, soulful voice forces you to listen to the words, despite yourself. My name is Father Jeremiah. I know your thoughts were stirred by the Patriarch's words. You're not sure whom to trust, but I teach at the seminary. I have been studying the teachings of twins my entire life. You can trust me. I now can hear. This is I think this is a typo. I can hear what I have to say. I see their light in your eyes, the true light of the true faith. Will you listen to my counsel, my son? You feel no malice in the words of the Inquisitor Jeremiah, only hope. It is in his lot to aid you, to guide you away from error, and set you on the path of true faith. He is a priest, so you should know the truth. Or perhaps the Inquisitor is wrong himself. I'm not gonna arrest him, because I don't want to die. Maybe we can debate him, yes. Luke's sermon. You start debating the Inquisitor, mustering all your knowledge and awareness of the new faith. The lots are an error introduced by Asadius. They are incorrect, obsolete, and contrary to the way the life of the modern empire. Please hear me out, my son. In these difficult times, people of your estate are the ones most tormented by doubt. Your lot is suffering, but not all of you are ready to suffer. Some turn to guile and cunning to avoid it, and they end up in eternity's embrace at the foot of the pillar. Please understand, your lot requires humility. Suffering is inevitable, and so is doubt. Each of them may temper your soul, yet each may also destroy it. But know this, if you have doubts, you are always welcome at the temple. No priest will turn you away in a moment of weakness. This is why we exist, to fortify faith in the hearts of all people, to bring the word of the twins to those who have gone astray. Know this, the Inquisition does not imprison everyone suspect of heresy. We exist to protect souls, to guide and save them. We pursue dangerous doctrines and seek to rescue every soul we meet. Arrest or execution is our last resort, reserved only for sinners beyond redemption. You can see that I am merely speaking to you right now, and I have not resorted to force, nor am I giving you any orders. Do not resist this, but rather consider the following. Did the patriarch speak the truth? You answer that Luke's sermon was far more convincing than Father Jeremiah's words. Everyone blindly heeds the writings of Eusebius, who is but one man who decided he had the right to define the lives of generations to come. But people have the right to free will, you say. They have the right to choose their destiny and bear the burden of their choice. Father Jeremiah sighs in response. Saddens me to see that you have been led astray so easily, yet you are so young. You should seek to learn the truth on your own. If you truly believe you can interpret the will of the gods, perhaps you should become a priest yourself. If you come to the divine seminary and prove you deserve the lot of the clergy, you will be accepted. I teach there, and I am always happy to see students of every considerable talent, even if they have been led astray. But for now you should leave this place. You will learn nothing by facing the champions of faith. With this, Father Jeremiah leaves you and proceeds farther. You leave the square freely, your dignity preserved. The remaining people in the square continue arguing with the other inquisitors. Armed champions of faith stand nearby, but they do not need to intervene. Luke and his retinue can no longer be seen. You walk back to the lodging house, mulling over Father Jeremiah's words about the seminary. Your family sent you out to earn a noble title, but you have the opportunity to become a priest of the new faith or the old. If you see your destiny in service to the gods, no one has the right to stand in your way. I don't think I'm a godly, serviceable man at this point in my time. Try to change the lots another way. Year 1134, Fall, the advance of the new faith. Patriarch Luke's sermons have converted many commoners and nobles of the mantle to the new faith. There are now several temples in eternity to follow the new canons. With Luke's blessing, this has led to no small amount of anger from the followers of the old faith. Two mighty bishops of the church lead the new faith. One of them is Luke, the Patriarch of Arknia himself, spiritual mentor of the capital province. He preaches all across Arknia, his every sermon adding to the new faith's flock. The other leader of the new faith is Patriarch Junius Diamant. Hailing from a Great Arknian dynasty, he is the de facto ruler of Astynia province. Adored by his subjects, he has founded the Holy Order anew. Junius Diamant rarely preaches, but people believe the Astynian Patriarch attends to all the needs of all who convert to the new faith. This schism within the church is growing. The split is further to divide between the commoners and the nobles, though thankfully there has been no direct conflict as of yet, but it has become clear that there is no way to stop the steady advance of the new faith. Born from the death of Patriarch Fotis, it grows stronger by the day. Yep, you made him a, what is it called? A martyr. You made him a martyr. It's not good to have martyrs. -1 order. +2 to the church, though. The city that never sleeps. The next few weeks pass by in hard work and preparation for the coming entrance exams at the Imperial College. You grow more and more exhausted with each passing day, so much so that one night you fall asleep while studying another book. When you finally come to, you decide it's high time to get some recreation outside. The city of Eterna amazes you as you stroll through its splendid streets. It is another night, a different night, yet the city is beautiful still. The shining pillars, a slice of light across the dark night sky. The light on the facades of the buildings are lit. Night descends on the capital. You don't feel like going back to your books tonight. Recently, you made the acquaintance of several young men. They are children of nobles of the mantle, just like you, sent to the capital to earn their noble titles at the college. You decide to seek them out. Your new friends are having a late dinner on the next street over, loudly discussing their plans for the night. Some speak eagerly of a dueling club where you can see the most skilled and ardent duelers in the Empire doing what they do best. You have never seen professional duelers fight. It must be far more exciting than the father's fencing lessons or the fight in the ruins of Anazat. If luck favors you, perhaps you can even make useful contacts among the noble families in the capital. The others try to convince the rest to take a trip to a certain secret salon. The establishment is expecting a guest tonight, they say, a young lady who speaks about the true states of affairs in the Empire. There are many questions about the nature of the place and the identity of the mysterious speaker, but the young men have only one answer. They are forbidden to speak about this outside the club. However, they can take you there as long as you aren't afraid to learn a dangerous truth. There are others still that are drinking their fill of wine rather than eating. Fencing, they say? Speeches? Nonsense. The place you ought to go tonight, they claim, is the Martyr Society, a gathering for those of common estate but uncommon opinions that offers pleasures for everyone. Pleasures of the palate, pleasures of drink, pleasures of the flesh. Is this not heresy and a crime? Perhaps. And yet some of your newfound friends are eager to go there. In the end, your group splits into 3 to spend the night as they see fit. What will it be? A contest featuring the best fencers in Eterna, an establishment both mysterious and dangerous, or an encounter with people who defy their lot with audacity? You weigh your options. I'm between the Dueling Club and the Secret Salon. I'm not going here, by the way. I just want to look and see what it is. I'm gonna go to the Secret Salon. Let's see who's speaking. The city that never sleeps. The Secret Salon is an unremarkable wooden building down an alleyway a few blocks from the Great Temple of the Twins. A couple of tough, tack-turned fellows at the door eye you suspiciously. Their faces are obscured by hoods. One of your newfound friends nods to them, and you are allowed inside. The inner rooms are stuffy and overcrowded. All the partitioners have been removed to make room for more people. There is a raised platform next to one of the walls, perhaps a stage. There are benches all around. They are occupied by people of the common estate, most of them modestly dressed. They are artisans, tinkers, street vendors, students, and yet you see that some of them are wealthy and impeccably dressed. A mop-headed young man dressed like a low-ranking cleric appears on the stage. He claps to attract the public's attention. When the house goes quiet, he reads a series of pamphlets condemning the supreme authorities of the Empire and their obsolete rule. A group of young men appear on the stage next, their faces covered in blue paint. They perform a derisive play entitled Day in the Life of the Tempests. The performances are many, but their goal is always the same. They all claim the Empire is stuck in the past and has to change. Then finally another voice of accusation. A young girl appears on stage, and the crowd immediately grows silent. This is her, the mysterious guest they were talking about. You look at her from the crowd. You can see short black hair, a slender figure, and those familiar shining eyes. This is what I was hoping for. Brothers and sisters, you all came to this place because you know, deep in your hearts, it's Sophia, the girl who used to live next door. She's grown so much since you've last seen her, but what is she doing here? But before Sophia even finishes her first sentence, a short man in a shabby jacket jumps up on the stage. He flashes a badge and screams at the crowd. Nobody move, you're all under arrest as accomplices to an insurrection against the Empire. Imperial generals barge into the house. Swords and crossbows glint in the dim light. First there's confusion, then panic. Screams of fear and outrage fill the hall. Sophia is already gone. You can barely hear the cries demanding that you stay where you are. People start pushing against the gendarmes, against the doors, against the windows. The din is deafening. Only one thought remains in your mind. You have to run away as fast as you can. You push your way to the farthest window of the hall. A hand grabs you by your sleeve of your jacket. You pry it off without looking and keep pushing forward. The expensive jacket starts to tear at the shoulder. The window frame breaks and falls outside. You drop down after it. Shards of glass bite into your hands, but you barely feel the pain. You'll have time to feel it later, but for now, you need to run. You run and dodge and weave through the alleyways before finally heading for the lodging house. Your heart is racing, your hands are shaking, blood is dripping from the cuts on your arms. You have no idea what happened to the people who were arrested. Finally, you reach your room and collapse onto the bed. You are safe from pursuit, but not anxiety. What was Sophia going to say? How did she end up here in the capital after she escaped? Was she arrested too? There are too many questions, but you have no way to answer them. Eventually, you drift off into a restless sleep. I was hoping it was Sophia. I thought it might be, but I was really hoping it was. Year 1135. The Codes of Law. You're on your way to the largest library in Eterna to study for your entry exams. It is right next to the college. The streets are full of people. Everybody is excited. You hesitate for a few seconds, then let your curiosity get the better of you and head towards the place where you will soon study. Before long, you hear the shouting. The Great Chancellor is about to give a speech about the future of the Empire. You cannot possibly miss this. You mix with the crowd and soon find a convenient place to listen and watch what is about to unfold. On the steps of the college, you see a small tribune guarded by 2 Arknians armed with swords. This is the first time you've ever seen an Arknian standing guard, let alone 2 of them. The doors of the college open to reveal a stately Arknian surrounded by an honor guard. It is he, Cornelius Tempest, Great Chancellor of the Empire, younger brother to the Emperor himself. He heads for the tribune and casts a look over the square. It is full of people in awe and utter silence. Long ago, humans witnessed the Arknians' arrival. The 2 nations built the empire side by side. The provinces joined us one by one, and Magra was the final province to attain the absolute might and majesty of the blessed Arknian Empire. Yet there was another great event long before that. 4 centuries ago, the twins had graced us with their presence. With their arrival, the twin granted us their will. They showed us their love and their law, and they granted us knowledge of what awaits us in the hereafter. They chose the society of Tempest to rule the Empire, and from that day forth, our dynasty has ruled this land, ordained by the gods themselves. However, it is our duty to the twins not to seek power for power's sake, but rather to lead the Empire to farther prosperity. And so the Great Imperial Council is soon to review and adopt a new set of laws called the Creed. Under the Creed, all estates will be granted rights. Under the Creed, there will be one law for all Imperial citizens to obey, human or Arknian, from the lowliest commoner to the Emperor himself. As the strife among the estates will end, a single law will resolve all of our quarrels. Glory to the Empire. The Great Chancellor throws his arms into the air. The crowd murmurs their applause and approval. Cornelius Tempest grants another look over the crowd and leaves. The crowd disperses. The sounds of agitated discussions are everywhere. Is it true that the Emperor's dynasty seeks to grant equal rights to all estates? What will happen to the Empire then? +2. Good, smart move. Smart move there, man. Getting your power going back up. They need it, that's for sure. The girl from your past. It is early morning. You have been awake since sunrise studying. There is a knock at the door. Is it a letter from home or a hotel servant? You open the door and freeze, stunned. Hello, Brante. Before you stands Sophia, the girl who used to live next door. She is all grown up now. She looks so different. But you would always recognize those blue eyes no matter what. You gesture for her to come in. Sophia enters the room, glances around, and sits in an armchair. You eye the girl you used to know as you sit across from her. But the young woman you see now has little in common with the girl you used to know. There's a cold steel in the way she looks at things. Her hair is cut short, but what is she doing here? I can explain. I've been living in Eterna for a long time now. Ever since I ran away from Anazad, I heard the other day that you'd left for the capital to get into the college. So I found you, and here I am. You ask how Sophia learned about your arrival and where you were staying, but she answers your questions with an enigmatic smile. We'll get to that later. Right now I want to see how much you've changed since we last saw each other. As for me, I've changed a lot. I'm a whole different person now. You look away as you recall your previous encounter, back when Sophia ran away from our Arknian master. Sophia chuckles as she continues. Would you like to know what happened next? I traveled through the entire empire all alone. I had nothing. My journey ended only when I reached this place, the capital, with all its important people and events. This is the heart of the Empire. It's a place where I can make a difference. I've made friends here, found people I can truly call my family. I've even gotten an education of sorts, and I have a purpose now. I fight against injustice. I fight against the lots. I fight those who treat our lives like mud on the pavement. And no, I'm not afraid to tell you that I came to you for a good reason. I need help. I know you. I have faith in your good heart, and besides, this is also about the Imperial College you want to enroll in. There is a scholar there by the name of Bartholomew Dextra. He teaches natural sciences at the college. Dextra is an old man, but he's quite progressive. He'll stop at nothing to advance silence and acquire new knowledge. As you know, only second-generation nobles or above are allowed to teach at the college, but Dextra, he is a commoner. He forged his patent of nobility to get a position at the college. But the Secret Chancellery just recently learned of this. Dextra is about to face true death for this forgery. But how is that justice? A man wants to teach people, and for this they're going to take all his lives? They're going to punish him for a crime of being born in the wrong estate? It's evil and obscene, and I will not stand for it. Dextra deserves to be rescued. But I don't want to put anyone in danger, so I need your help. You're from a rich family, you're almost a noble. If you help me get Dextra out of the city, nobody will suspect anything. No one will know, and the scholar will live on to continue his research elsewhere, far away from the Secret Chancellery. Chancellery. I can't say it. Chancellery. Is it Chancellery? It might be Chancellery. Will you help me? You feel perplexed by Sophia's sudden request. She is asking you to break imperial law and undermine the work of the Secret Chancellery to save the scholar. Rescuing Dextra would be an adventure, but it would also be incredibly dangerous. And besides, Dextra's a fake noble. He resorted to lies and deceit to get his current position. How does this matter to you? Sophia's blue eyes are stuttering you, waiting for your reply. We're definitely helping her, but I want to see this. You turn Sophia over to Otten. Oh, there you go. Yeah, let's go with this. Definitely help her out. You promised to help, Sophia. Bartholomew Dextra does not deserve this. He has to leave the capital. She can count on you. I knew I could count on you. Then we must act at once. There's no time to waste. Dextra is to be arrested tomorrow. Here's his address. Go there as soon as the sun sets. No one will suspect you. Dextra often tutors young men for the college entrance exams. Tell him the owl sent you. Use the back door to get out. A carriage will drive up to the backyard. The driver will hoot like an owl. He'll take you to the south gate. If the guards stop the carriage, just talk your way out of it. Once you're outside the city, Dexter will ride away in a different carriage. You'll go back the way you came, and I'll meet you in the Majesty Square. You nod to her words, and your hands start to shake. You're about to go against the Secret Chancellery. You're about to going to help someone escape. Punishment. To defy your own lot like this, it's unthinkable. When the sun sets, you leave the lodging house and walk quickly, glancing over your shoulder repeatedly. Bartholomew's Dexter's house must be somewhere around here. You find the place. A genteel old man opens the door. His face is covered in wrinkles, his shoulders are stooped, and yet his eyes are sharp and lively. Bartholomew Dexter looks at you for a moment, then asks why you have paid him a visit. You tell him you want to enroll in college and you are looking for a tutor. Dexter nods and invites you inside. Once you make sure nobody else can see or hear you, you whisper to the scholar about the real reason for your visit. The Secret Chancellery will be coming for him tomorrow. He has to leave now to escape his true death. Dexter freezes, then turns to you. How do you know about him and the Secret Chancellery? You tell him that the owl has sent you and has provided for his escape. As for the Secret Chancellery, they want him for forging a patent of nobility. The moment you utter Sophia's name, the lecturer calms down and starts packing for the journey. You watch him distractedly notice that he lives in a rather austere fashion. It does not take him long to pack. You hear the quiet clacking of hooves in the yard. Carefully, you and Dexter proceed to the backyard of the building. You see a carriage there. The driver hoots quietly. You get in. The carriage rolls down the road. There is a tense silence in the closed-off space. Inside the carriage, the scholar wrings his hands anxiously. Through the carriage windows, you see the massive city gate passing by. You are almost outside the city, but then a loud voice reaches you. Halt. The driver obediently halts the carriage. The two city gerandums approach you. You leave the carriage to face the I'm gonna say genderandoms, but I'm very wrong. Gendarums? I don't know that word. I mean, I know that word, but I don't know how to pronounce it. Before they can get a peek inside the carriage, they look over and ask you where you're going so late at night. You tell them you're the son of a judge and Magra here to roll in the college, and right now you wish to visit the estate of a newfound friend. To convince them farther, you mention the name of the noble son you become friendly with. The gendarmes, I'm gonna say gendarmes, release the carriage and wish you a pleasant trip. We drive along the high road until you encounter a peasant wagon. Dexter will take it to seek refuge far away from the capital. Before the two of you part ways, he pats you on the shoulder and tells you that you have done a truly brave deed. You return to the city without incident. You find Sophia in Majesty Square as agreed upon, sitting on a bench by streetlight, reading a book of some sort. She closes the book when she sees you and offers you her hand. So, did everything go according to plan? You nod. Then we've earned ourselves a bit of free time. Let's go. You set off on a walk through the maze of narrow back streets. Finally, you have some time for questions. What happened to Sophia over the last 2 years? She was just a girl before, a servant. How is she now a revolutionary? Sophia just smiles sadly. You've seen what I can do. I'm not just a girl. The Inquisition caught up with me when I ran from Anazat. I ended up in the House of Humility, a dreadful place. I got collared. Do you know how it feels to lose your free will, losing everything that makes you you? She unclasps the tall shirt collar that had been hiding her neck all this time, and you see the round mark from the anti-magic collar. They say a scar like this will remain even after a lesser death, but I got lucky. Patriarch Junius Diamant saved me. Diamant took me and the other mages from the House of Humility and removed our college. He made me one of his attendants. He taught me that there are no lots. He told me that I'm like this not because I'm a freak, but because it's my nature. He told me I can find a path to the twins, just like anyone else in this world. And then I was taken. I got out on my own. I found my own lot, to protect the common people from the noble yoke, to help others who were as unlucky as I am, to fight for a different world, a world where everybody has equal rights, a world where mages don't get robbed of their will just because one aspect of their birth, a world where the nobles no longer tread upon the commoners. Yes, this is our dream, but we are still far from it. But I will keep moving towards it and I'll stop at nothing. A strange, distorted expression appears on Sophia's face, but she quickly returns to normal. You keep walking until you're at the lodging house again. For a moment, you just stand there looking at each other. I still feel like magic might make them crazy. Then suddenly, Sophia embraces you. For a moment, she remains still in your arms and whispers, "You should join my cause. If we work together, one day we'll become a force to be reckoned with. I know you came here to find your way, but I'll never believe you really want to bind yourself to other people's laws and desires for the rest of your life. The path I walk is dangerous. It's almost hopeless, but it's worth living for. Think about it. Goodbye." Then she withdraws as quickly as she disappears into the dark streets of Eterna. You make your way back to your room, exhausted by the events of the day. Was this really just a single day in your life? Scheming and valor up.
I will never forget that day. For it was then that I chose the path I would walk for the rest of my life.
Ho ho ho. Well, I think that's going to do it for this episode, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to give it a like. If you've got anything to say, go to the comments below. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscription button and the bell. It helps me out a ton. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Peace.